Hey everybody, David and David here from Payette4.com and Upphone.com, and in this video we're going to tell you about some Google Pixel battery tips.
And there are just a few tips that we're going to mention, and it's going to save a ton of battery life. So the first one has to do with 5G.
Yep, so let's open the Settings app, swipe down from the top of the screen, swipe down again, and just tap on that gear icon. And I'm going to tap on Network and Internet. Going to tap on Mobile Network, and then tap on Preferred Network Type.
Right, so 5G is recommended, and if you live in an area with good 5G coverage, then by all means, leave this on. But if you don't live in an area with good 5G coverage, I recommend selecting LTE. First off, because LTE can be faster than 5G if you have a better LTE signal. And second, anyone who's been in areas where there isn't good cell phone coverage knows that when there isn't good coverage, your battery drains quicker. So if there isn't good 5G coverage and your phone is trying to connect to it, your battery's going to drain a lot faster. So just choose LTE. We don't have good 5G coverage here. Just choose LTE.
Yep. So next we're going to go into privacy settings under Google Pixel. I'll tap back and go back to the main page of the Settings app. Scroll down and tap Privacy. We're going to tap Advanced, and we want to talk about usage and diagnostic data.
You know, this is about sending data to app developers and to Google about the way that you use your phones so that they can improve their products. It uses a little bit of cellular data, also uses your battery to be collecting this data in the background. Let's let them improve their own products. Just turn it right off.
Yep, just tap the switch, turn it off, well done. We're going to go back to the main page of the Settings app and talk about some location settings. I know location services can be a really significant battery drain for a lot of people.
Right, and we're not crazy. We're not going to tell you to turn off GPS on your phone because that's what makes the phone so great. But if you're deliberate and intentional about the settings in the apps that you want to have access to your location, you could save a lot of battery life.
Yep, let's tap App Access to Location and look at your apps, especially allowed all the time. Do these apps need to have your location all the time, even when you're not actively using them?
Right.
And most of the time the answer is going to be no.
So even Amazon, Facebook, Google, do these apps need to have access to your location all the time, even when you're not using them? Probably not. And some apps you might not want to allow to have your location any of the time, even when you're using it, but these allowed all the time are major battery drainers.
Yeah, so I'll tap on Facebook, for example, and I'll just set it to allow only while using the app.
Right, so ask every time to be annoying, deny, you're not going to be able to tag your photos with your location, but allow while using the app, everything still works.
Yep, let's go back to location settings on your Google Pixel. And we're going to tap on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth scanning. This allows your Pixel to scan for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth even when Wi-Fi and Bluetooth aren't on.
There are a lot of forum posts about these two settings in particular as being big battery drainers. Turn them both off, you'll save a lot of battery life.
Yeah, and you'll still be able to connect to Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth devices. It's not like you're just turning those features off. You're just turning off the scanning portion. So tap to turn it off, tap to turn it off. Next thing we're talking about is dark mode. It looks cool and it can help save battery life.
Right.
Win-win. Let's go back to the main page of the Pixel Settings app, and we're going to scroll up and tap on Display. Just tap the switch next to Dark Theme.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? This is one of those no-brainer settings where the screen is a lot darker. That's less power.
Next, we're going to go into the battery section of the Settings app and talk about a couple of settings there. I'll tap back and I'll tap battery, one above display. The first one is adaptive battery. Go ahead and tap on that. To extend battery life, adaptive battery may reduce performance and background activity.
So this is kind of automatically doing some of the things that we recommend doing manually, but this can also help.
Yeah, let's tap that switch to turn it on.
Right.
And before we leave the battery section of the Settings app, let's just go back and let's talk about battery saver a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not a big believer in battery saver, even though some people just turn it on and then sort of forget about it, because if you optimize the settings on your phone, you can actually sometimes do better than just having battery saver turned on and not taking a look at anything else. And battery saver is kind of like this, catch-all thing that can actually negatively impact some of the apps that do want to have access to your location. I just avoid it if possible.
That's especially true for extreme battery saver, which turns off even more, and it's,
If you need a battery saver, extreme battery saver is a little extreme, but it works.
Next, we're going to turn on battery optimization for all your apps. This actually doesn't live in the battery settings for some reason, so let's go back to the main page of your Google Pixel settings and tap on Apps and Notifications, tap Advanced, scroll down and tap Special App Access, and then tap on Battery Optimization. So here we have a list of my apps that are currently not optimized. And I'm just going to scroll down. Facebook, not optimized. Facebook is a very significant battery draining app. You probably want to optimize this app specifically for best battery life.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and tap on that. and just tap on Optimize, tap Done. It'll no longer appear in your list of not optimized apps. However, you can also just tap on Not Optimized and then select All Apps, and then you can get all of your apps. You'll see that some are optimizing battery use, some aren't. Good way to see which ones are and which aren't.
Right, and if you were to go into the Facebook app all of a sudden and you were to notice that it was too slow or that things weren't loading as fast and it was a big pain in the butt for you, come back in here and just turn this back on, or turn battery optimization off. But if you don't really notice a difference, then you're just going to save battery in the background. So just bear in mind, we're not commanding you to do any of these things, just giving you the option, especially for apps like Facebook. This can save a lot of battery.
Next, we're going to talk about restricting background activity. You know, apps can sometimes run in the background of your Google Pixel and just use a lot of battery life.
Right, and this is kind of a convoluted one to adjust, but we're going to walk you through it.
All right, so let's go back to the main page of apps and notifications.
Right.
Tap on See All number of apps.
Right.
Tap on an app. Tap on Advanced, and then tap Battery. Here we are, manage battery usage. You see background restriction right there. App can use battery in the background. And this is a gaming app. If you have a lot of games on your phone, you don't want them all running in the background of your Google Pixel all the time, draining battery. And it's just...
Yeah, you never know which ones are actually going to be the biggest offenders, especially if it's a third-party app, not developed by a really big developer, can cause problems.
Let's tap on background restriction. To save battery, stop bricks and balls from using battery in the background. This app may not work properly and notifications may be delayed. Yes, app restrict. I don't need to have bricks and balls send me notifications anyway. As you said earlier, this process is pretty convoluted. That's why we recommended turning on battery optimization for all apps, and it kind of reduces the need to go one by one and through this convoluted process.
Right, and if this was the first tip, you would have stopped watching right away.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thanks for sticking with us through this one because it is kind of a pain.
Yeah, thanks for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below with any other questions, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more great Android tips.